Hello folks, welcome to another analyzed match of Age of Empires 4. I'm Paragon RG, and in this particular match, Alexander AoE4, who I'll just call Alexander, is in the red on the northeast side of the map, playing as the Rus. He's a self-proclaimed Rus abuser, and wants to see if there's anything in particular that I can spot that would improve his gameplay. He's against none other than Kim Jong-un, on the west side of the map in the blue, playing as the Chinese. So I'm going to go back to the Fog of War view here, and we'll see what Alexander gets up to. So he's going to run around grabbing Hunt. I'm going to speed up the game for the first chunk of this, because anyone who's been keeping an eye on, especially top-level gameplay, or just playing a lot for the past month or so, pretty much knows how the Rus play. Looks like second scout coming out. So producing scouts out of the hunting cabin. Gold is spiking nicely due to that hunt and picked the forward hunt first, so it's pretty cool. It's got some wolves chasing. Alexander is a 1400 something rating player, so quite strong overall. Very high percentile of players on the ladder, which means we will probably need to look a little bit harder for to spot issues. Minimap going crazy here. Easily has the gold that he needs. Looks like he's out of sheep. Heading home with a scout, I'm assuming. Only one sheep. So I think this is a common issue. I don't know. So you had some idle time on the food there. I don't know if there's a quick fix for that other than, like, this guy doesn't have any sheep, so did your opponent get all the sheep? Like, somehow your opponent got all of the sheep. Okay, and now you're on berries without a mill. Okay, so a bit of a rocky start. That alone could cause some problems. I think the thing to do would be, keeping in mind as well that Rus play is basically about to be patched as of this recording, such that horse archers will shoot less quickly, and professional scouts will carry deer slower, meaning there should be counterplay against them. You're just going to want to be more adaptive, so, how much is a hunting cabin? I don't play much Rus. 100 wood. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you just have to do this sooner. Add a hunting cabin. So, yeah, let's keep the speed up for now. Yeah, so professional scouts coming in now. Still nothing too crazy. Obviously, you'd prefer to be on sheep. So pretty interesting that, like... Yeah, this guy got a ton of sheep. So I think that's a little unlucky. But let us not assume that is the cause of any negative outcome in this game. So at least good job adapting with the hunting cabin to get on those berries. I think that was pretty darn important, and pretty soon you will not need to be on them at all. Okay, so it's in. You're pulling back the deer. I'm assuming a bunch of villagers get pulled to those deer now simply because it is more efficient. That makes sense to me. That might be too many. I guess you'll have enough deer eventually, but some of these are idle, right? Okay, they're going on a sheep now. So, yeah, I mean, so far it's just, like, sloppiness with villagers, and maybe needing to adapt a little more quickly to not getting the sheep you need. Like, needing to watch, what is this game's situation? Do any of my scouts have sheep? No? Well, then, you might have to slow down your feudal age a little bit, right? And I think that's okay, 100 wood, but it keeps your villagers active, and you'll probably want this eventually anyway. Okay, so your opponent... 7 scouts. Grabbing all the deer here. Now I'm starting to wonder, like... is this going to come down to... you relying... like, a reliance on the... I shouldn't make that sound accusatory. On a reliance... like, on professional scouts... Like, there should be a... Is there a deer here somewhere still? It's still on the mini map, oddly. Yeah, I don't see one. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's a strong reliance on the Roost meta of getting deer and so on. Now you're clicked up at least, so you should probably beat him to the castle age. Quite a few 9 villagers working on that. 3 archer ranges. I don't know. Can you afford? With your current food situation? Like, is this sustainable? I'm assuming we'll see a warrior monk instantly. We see the horse archers instantly. Warrior monk comes in now, that's fine. Town center. So what have you seen? You've seen Barbican Imperial Academy, so he's going for a pretty strong boom here. And is still pulling back deer. So it looks like you possibly could have scouted one more deer patch. I don't see them yet, if they do still exist. Because I was looking on the minimap earlier, and I didn't see 4 patches on the minimap. So I'm assuming this one was not yet in your vision. Could be wrong on that. Horse archers coming out now. I think you need to get really aggressive with these, because it feels like you have some catching up to do. So far, the game has felt like your opponent has beat you to everything. Like, you've played a solid but very predictable approach, and your opponent has beaten you in that approach. Another thing as well in the patch, by the way, warrior monks will be slower going forward, so still worth certainly picking up relics, and they're still fast getting to the relics, but you know, you won't quite have as much joy. I like what you're doing with the second group of horse archers. Avoiding the Barbican. Can you not hang out over here? Try to snipe a couple villagers? Could be mistaken on that. Even more horse archers coming out. So I'm assuming you have 1 relic. Grabbing the next relic. Looks good. Hope these guys are going to lurk near a relic. So your opponent's pretty walled in. And then where he's not walled, I mean, I guess this side he's walled, but, or not walled, but there's a TC partially walled. There is a Barbican, which I'm not convinced you can't outrange if you're on the other side of. Yeah, I'm going to speed it up a little. Well, in a sec. I worry about the state of this game. The good news is that your opponent is giving you they're ceding full map control. So you have 3 relics now. You may even be able to get 5 relics, which is awesome. And hopefully you can grab the sacred sites as well. So that'll be a nice boost. But in the long term, you are going to be down so many villagers. Now, I've been distracted looking at the general map situation. You have 900 wood right now. 900 wood. So I would like to know what the plan is with that wood. Okay, so horse archers. 1 going down to the town center. You at least scouted the astronomical clock tower. That's a good call. Now trying to take down the wall with scouts and horse archers. So obviously he's going to be pretty worried about that. Taking the first sacred site. You have 1,000 wood. I'm still waiting on this wood to be spent. So villagers are heading out somewhere now. Maybe here? Which does make sense that you can do it, given that he's given up map control here. You've broken in the back. Nice job with that. That did take quite a long time to do. That wall was really, really effective. I mean, technically, if you wanted to just get a villager and chop the 1 tree, you could have done that. I find that horrible, but it is a real option. Has a Springalds. I think you did the right move in pulling back there. You lost scouts, minimized horse archer losses. That's good play. Idling a ton of villagers here, but, you know, he's going to start killing their units. I don't think this is worth it. The problem is he's so far ahead in villagers, he makes them more quickly than you do. So 4 villagers, like, does it really get you back into the game? You've lost, what, at least 5 horse archers doing that. So I would argue that your sort of value proposition in this moment is that you have a... Oh my god. How many villagers did you lose doing that? Hopefully you have 8, right? Taking out a boar. You know, maybe lose 1 if you don't micro, but I think you lost at least 3 there. So what I was trying to say is, I think your value proposition here is, so he's booming. That costs money. You got to Castle Age first. You had a bigger army, a better army. I think you need to grow that. You want to grow a critical mass. Pardon me, sneeze coming on here. You want to grow a critical mass of your troops. You want to keep using that map control, which you are doing well. Grabbing that sacred site, hopefully grabbing this one. Yes, you are. This is not enough horse archers. This is not enough. I think... Okay, so you're at... Looks like maybe you're working towards Imperial Age now. The wood has been spent, but I don't know if it was just traded away with the Golden Gate. I didn't see that. I feel like maybe you sold quite a bit of it. You want to re-up the lumber camp. The amount of walking time here. In fact, these villagers are on the wrong side. They're probably spending more time walking than chopping. Which is not good. Okay, so... Okay, so I understand you stop making military such that you could hit the Imperial Age. So I'm wondering what the plan is now with Imperial Age. What tech is it? Or unit that you're going for? Like, does this turn into bombards? Or does it turn into extra range Springalds? Speed up a little bit here. So you got the sacred site at, last sacred site, what, like 1540, something like that? Keep an eye on that. So all this time, he's been at least 2 TC booming. I think it's 2 TC, you know, effectively 3 because of the Song Dynasty. I wouldn't be surprised if he's almost at Imperial Age. Okay, numbers are growing again. You hit Imp. $52 villagers. Yeah, I think you have this effectively one shot. Okay, let's slow down here. You did hit Imp. So what's... Okay, so Bombard coming in. That's cool. More horse archers. And elite horse archer. Let's check the blacksmith. Those aren't coming in yet, but you have 1-1. In fact, yeah, you have 1-1. That is a lot of sprints. Interesting he's going mass Springald. It's true that horse archers aren't particularly good at dealing with Springalds. Now, if you had scouts, that would help. You can build them under your hunting cabins. Oh, I love the look of these things. Yeah, pretty cool. So, I think, yeah, I mean, I'm wondering what the plan is now to deal with the, Okay, you are making a scout out of there. This Bombard is unfortunately not active because it can't be because of all the Springalds. Losing villagers to Springald plus Nest of Bees. Okay, so rather than hit Imp, he's going crazy for Siege. This is a huge investment. Looks like Palace Guard here as well. And a forward keep. Well, you have a bombard. That's the good news. Okay, so what is the 8 ranged armor on these things? 15. So you would do 7 damage a pop to a clock tower Springled. Yeah, now your bombard can't even take out the keep. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a sec. I don't know that there is any hope at this point. But realistically, looks like you're about to do something. We'll find out what that is. Probably try to snipe some of these Palace Guard. I think the situation, and I think what I'll do is I'll pop over to the other player for just a minute and see what his economy is. I think the situation is you have effectively a 3 TC boom on one side, 1 town center on the other. You had a military advantage. You lost a bunch of that in a raid that didn't go too well. It took a long time to get through the walls of your opponent. So possibly even if you just had more scouts, actually you could have busted in sooner. Once a Chinese opponent gets to this point, he has all this siege, even has a keep up front, and is just going to guard the keep from bombards with Springalds. This is pretty bad, man. This is pretty bad. I'm gonna play again. Let us see what happens here. But I just can't help but feel like any chance you had at applying pressure is just gone. I mean, you can go raid, I guess. That's always an option, and these things won't be able to chase you at any reasonable speed. So maybe raiding your opponent to death is the play here. But in terms of engaging with this army, I mean, maybe a siege workshop somewhere back here, and then longer range Springalds. Okay, so trying to take out Springalds. You can almost one-hit them with your mass, which is pretty sweet. I was wondering about that, but I didn't think it added up. Yeah, the nest to beat. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay, they don't manage to get your bombard, which is good. Which is quite good. Yeah. Okay. So I think this is just really rigid play. That's my current feeling on this. Like, you're so determined to make horse archers. Why not have like 30 scouts or something? Doesn't have to be 30. 15 scouts mixed in with these horse archers would go an awful long way. He'd have to retreat. You could set the bombard to start shooting the castle once the Springalds are back here. I think this kind of rigid play can work, but I think that opportunity was lost when I pointed out earlier when you had the military advantage, and then that fell out of your hands. So all sacred sites are lost now. I'm assuming you have 5 relics kicking around. Yeah. That's good. You should take out a lot of Palace Guard here. That's quite nice. Oof, yeah, that is not a good battle for him. Well done on that front. Caught a lot of them out in the open. Trying to jump on his siege here. Looks like you've got fire arrows at a good time. Yeah, more scouts in that battle. You can potentially push this. Did that bombard go down? If it did, I didn't see it. I think it must have gone down. More archery ranges? Well, I can see you're determined. I mean, you spend your resources really effectively. There was that period where you had 1,000 wood kicking around. Those days are gone. You have some gold, but I expect that to be spent with like another bombard, maybe something like that. And there you go. Yeah, weapon range. I didn't know it actually boosted their reload time as well. Oh, that's the first. That's not the special tech. Right. This is a special tech. Okay, and you're getting that as well. Okay. So you're going to try to go head-to-head with the Springalds. Definitely one approach here. I haven't been looking too closely at this side of the base. You have 9 archery rangers right now. Okay, so I mean, I think I know you. You're. Ooh, yeah. This isn't gonna work. You need those scouts with the horse archers. That being said, I think. Did I miss a battle? Oh no, they're around here. So the horse archers are out raiding. We've lost the high armory. I think this is effectively over. We're going to find out what you can get. Oh. I hate to see this, because, I mean, this is one of the worst units at getting through walls, right? That's an insane... They have 23 damage each. That is nuts. Taking out your Abbey of the Trinity. Yeah, these units become some of the worst raiding units once your opponent has wall. Look at this guy's walls. I mean, good for him. Oh, he's repairing the bombard? Yeah. Okay. Okay, here come the other horse archers. You may even clean this up. Holy moly. So, honestly, I don't think this should work at all. Like, you know, you're going to be pretty punished after the patch. I don't think that will work pretty soon against Siege. Now, I mean, Siege shouldn't be that good in this case either, but really archers aren't supposed to be the thing that deals with them. Yeah, I mean, I don't see how you're going to push this position with horse archers. I just don't... It doesn't add up to me. The losses are huge. You can't raid because you can't get through his walls with horse archers. Okay, I'm going to speed up a little more here. Horse archers remassing, but... And there it goes. All right. So I think I made myself pretty clear probably during the video. This is really rigid play. Now, I think you know that. There's no real surprises there. So you're probably hoping for something more than that. I think you did have a chance to get more done, but it would have had to be when you had a tech advantage and an army advantage. And I think both lined up for a period. You knew your opponent was effectively 3 TC booming. You know there's a huge investment in that. You're picking up all the relics. You're getting full map control. But even before you have all the sacred sites, for example, you need to find a way to get into his base and deal damage. And I think that's where getting a little bit out of the rigidity can work. Even adding scouts earlier can mean that you can get through his palisade wall. But honestly, this guy read you like a book. He knew you were going horse archers. Simple palisade wall all over the place prevented you from getting anywhere. And if you could have got into his base without having to take, like, it took you something like more than a minute, right? Like a minute and a half to get into his base. That's a huge amount of time. So if you could have got in there more quickly, he could have been dead. I also think when you did get into his base, the focus on killing villagers wasn't quite right. Like, you know you need to kill villagers, but if you lose your military advantage in doing so, you've lost your only advantage in the game. So once you did get in, you needed to find a way to maybe set up shop, find a way to get a battering ram in there, whether it's like forward siege or something, whether it's like a forward keep, something like that. Yeah, but at the core of this, I think your opponent, none other than Kim Jong-un, really just read the play correctly. Put palisade walls everywhere, boomed. That's right, I forgot to check his villager count. I'm pretty sure he would have had like 50% more villagers than you. Maybe even double. So, yeah, if that's what you're going against, you have to, if not be clever, you have to play really solidly. I don't think you can push a keep. Like, how are you going to push a keep with straight horse archers? That part I don't really see. You could have done it with the bombard, but then he had Springalds, so he knew what his what his weakness was. The crazy thing here is I think if you had almost like half scouts, half horse archers, this still could have worked because you would have been able to get through palisade wall really, really quickly. And when you jumped on his siege, you would have been able to destroy it more quickly, push it back. You had a period with a bombard, you could have destroyed the castle. So even then, you probably still had a chance, but I think you had to pivot to scouts more quickly. Okay, anyway, I'll leave it at that. As I mentioned, a lot of this stuff isn't really going to work as well with the new patch, which, to be honest, I think is probably a good thing. So you're going to have to adapt a little bit, find the next thing that you want to do, and tighten it up. Folks, this has been ParagonRG. I hope you enjoyed this analysis, and stay tuned for more analysis and casting, and I'll catch you next time.